Trump, Iran, and the limits of public support. Welcome to the Politica UK InfoPod. Today we ask a difficult political question. If a president goes to war, but the public does not support it, does that actually matter? As the United States continues its military campaign against Iran, President Donald Trump insists the operation is progressing rapidly and successfully. He has even described the campaign as ahead of schedule, claiming major Iranian military capabilities have already been destroyed. Yet the political reality inside the United States is far more complicated. Recent polling shows that the American public is deeply divided, and in many cases skeptical about the conflict. A national poll found that a majority of Americans oppose the war, while only around 4 in 10 support it. Another survey suggested only about a quarter of Americans support the strikes against Iran, with far more expressing concern about escalation. Even more striking is the opposition to sending ground troops. Around 3/4 of Americans oppose deploying troops to Iran, a level of resistance that crosses party lines. This raises an important question. Does public opinion actually constrain modern warfare? Historically, American wars have often begun with strong public support. Think of World War II or the initial response after the attacks of September 11th. But wars that begin without clear public backing can quickly become politically dangerous. The Vietnam War is perhaps the most famous example. More recently, the Iraq and Afghanistan conflicts gradually eroded public trust in military interventions abroad. That history matters because Donald Trump originally rose to political prominence by criticizing what he called forever wars in the Middle East. Now he faces a paradox. The same electorate that supported his anti-intervention rhetoric may be wary of another major conflict in the region. Economic concerns are also playing a role. Polls show that 2/3 of Americans expect fuel prices to rise because of the conflict, and many worry about the financial impact on their own lives. And in democratic politics, pocketbook issues often matter more than foreign policy arguments. But here is the strategic question. Even if Americans are uneasy about the war, does that necessarily weaken the president's position? In the short term, perhaps not. Modern military campaigns can be conducted with relatively small numbers of troops, high-precision weapons, and limited direct public visibility. As long as casualties remain low and the conflict appears contained, political pressure can remain manageable. But wars have a habit of expanding. If oil prices surge, if American casualties rise, or if the conflict spreads across the region, public opinion could shift very quickly. And once public support collapses, even powerful presidents can find themselves politically trapped by wars they started. So the real issue may not be whether Americans support the war today. It is whether they would support it 6 months from now. This InfoPod was brought to you by Politica UK.